When did you agree to this? When did you sign the contract that said your one wild and precious life would be traded for a paycheck? When did you decide that your boundless potential was worth a mortgage, a car payment, and 2 weeks of freedom a year? No one, not one person, is born to be a servant. And yet, look around. You are living in the most polite, comfortable, and well-decorated prison in human history. IT is a cage with soft walls. It is a routine that numbs the soul. It is the quiet, unspoken agreement to trade your calling for comfort, to trade commands for security. You have been lied to. They told you that obedience was a virtue. They told you that following the path, the school, the job, the promotion, the 40-year plan was the key to success. But it is a trap. It is the most sophisticated system of servitude ever devised because it is a servitude you choose. It is a slavery of the mind. You are not bound by iron chains. You are bound by your habits. You are bound by your doubts. You are bound by the fear of what they will say. You are bound by the addiction to the approval of people who are just as trapped as you are. And so, you wake up to an alarm clock you despise, to fight traffic you hate, to work a job that drains your very life force, all to earn just enough to do it all over again tomorrow. You call this living? You call this responsibility? This is not living. This is decay. This is the slow death of the giant sleeping within you. The man who gives his entire life to another's vision. The man who punches a clock until his hair is gray and his back is bent. The man who reaches the end of his days with a heart full of regret and a mind full of what-ifs. That man has died a servant. He may have died with a pension. He may have died with a nice watch. But he died with his music still inside him. He died without ever knowing who he truly could have been. And I am here to tell you that this fate is not mandatory. This system, this trap, this mental prison, it only holds power over you if you allow it. The chains are an illusion. The walls are in your mind. And the key is a decision that IT is a decision that must be made not with a whisper, but with a roar. It is the refusal to be average, the refusal to be realistic, the refusal to blend in, the refusal to accept the crumbs that life throws you while others feast at the banquet. Refuse to die, a servant, is the single most important decision you will ever make. It is the beginning of all transformation. It is the moment you stop being a creature of circumstance and start becoming the creator. IT is the moment you look the world in the eye and say, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. But this refusal is not a one-time event. It is a declaration of war. It is a war against your old self, a war against mediocrity, a war against the gravity of the world that relentlessly tries to pull you back down into obedience. And the first battle, the most important battle, is waged on the 6 inches of real estate between your ears. Your prison is not your job. Your prison is not your boss. Your prison is not your bank account. Your prison is your mind. And if you want to walk free, you must first liberate your thought. You must understand that what you hold in your mind, you will hold in your hand. The man who thinks poverty, who speaks limitation, who lives in fear, his world will become a perfect reflection of that poverty. The universe does not give you what you want. It gives you what you are. The man who lives in servitude thinks like a servant. He waits for orders. He seeks permission. He fears risk. He sees only obstacles. His mind is a sterile room where no great idea can be born because it is immediately strangled by the how. The man who commands his life thinks like a master. He gives himself orders. He grants himself permission. He understands that risk is the price of admission for fortune. He sees the obstacle, and he sees the opportunity within it. You must stop allowing your mind to be a public square where any passing fear, any negative opinion, any stray doubt can come and build a home. Your mind must become a fortress, a temple, a sacred space, guarded by the sentinel of your will, and you must decide what is allowed inside. This is the law. Your life is the physical manifestation of your most dominant thoughts. Look at Edison. When he set out to create the electric light, he was surrounded by a world of darkness. The experts said it was impossible. He failed not 10, not 100, but 10,000 times. But here is the secret. Edison never believed he failed. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. His mind was not focused on the darkness. His mind was fixed with burning, obsessive, unshakable belief on the light. He held the vision of a lit world so firmly in his mind that he pulled that reality from the ether into the material world. He refused to be a servant to the impossible. And because he refused, you now sit in a lit room. What vision are you holding? Or is your mind empty? Is it filled with the static of the world? The news, the gossip, the complaints, the endless, meaningless noise designed to keep you distracted and sedated. The first act of refusal is to reclaim your thoughts. It is to choose what you believe. Belief is not hope. Hope is weak. Hope is begging. Hope is waiting by the window for a rescue that is not coming. Belief is conviction. Belief is the calm, cold, certain knowledge that your vision is already a fact, and it is simply waiting for you to catch up. It is the spiritual substance that precedes all material riches. You must build this belief. You must guard it. You must feed it. You must speak it aloud. You must act as if your success is not a possibility, but an inevitability. When you change your mind, you change your energy. When you change your energy, you change your actions. When you change your actions, you change your life. This is not magic. This is law, the invisible law that governs all success. The world will tell you to be realistic. That is the mantra of the servant. It is the excuse of the man who has already surrendered. I am telling you to be unreasonable. Be unreasonable in your vision. Be unrealistic in your belief. Be impossible in your demands on yourself. The man who accepts the world as it is will forever be its subject. The man who demands the world become what he envisions. He will be its master. Stop thinking like the man you are. Start thinking like the man you intend to become. The chains will not break until you first break them in your mind. The prison doors will not open until you first see yourself as a free man. This is the awakening. This is the first essential step. You're not a victim. You're not a pawn. You are the architect. And the life you're living today is the one you designed with your thoughts, that if you do not like the house you are in, it is time to draw a new blueprint. It is time to tear down the old structure of doubt and fear and build a new temple of belief and command. You must claim the title of architect, but an architect with no blueprint is merely a dreamer of a mind awakened, a belief forged in steel. This is the fuel. But fuel without an engine goes nowhere. A ship with all sails raised, catching a gale force wind, is still lost if no one is at the helm, if there is no destination. The great tragedy of the modern world is not the lack of potential. It is the drifting that it is the man who wakes with immense power, immense talent, immense belief, and aims it at nothing that he drifts through life, reacting to circumstance. He takes the job that is offered. He accepts the relationship that comes along. He follows the path of least resistance. And he drifts and drifts and drifts until he washes up on the shores of old age, bitter and broken, wondering where all the years went that a man without a purpose is a servant to everything, that he is a servant to his inbox. He is a servant to the whims of his boss. He is a servant to the emergencies of others. His life is not his own. It is a collection of reactions to the demands of the world refuse to die as servant. You must decide what you will live for. This is not a suggestion. This is a command. You must have a definite chief aim, not a vague wish. Not a nice to have. Not I want to be rich. Not I want to be happy. These are the weak, formless fantasies of the drifter. That a definite chief aim is a goal so clear, so precise, so burning that it consumes you. It is the North Star of your life. It is the obsession that you wake with and the last thought you have before you sleep. Andrew Carnegie did not just want to make money. He had a definite chief aim: to organize the production and distribution of steel on a scale the world had never seen. His mind was a furnace focused on this one single driving purpose. Every decision, every relationship, every dollar was measured against that one aim. Does this move me closer to my aim or further away? When your purpose is this clear, life simplifies. Decisions become easy. The 99% of things that do not matter, they fall away. You stop saying yes to the good, so you can give a roaring yes to the essential. The world cannot stop a man who knows exactly what he wants and is willing to pay the price to get it. The universe itself, consplegalto, make way for the man whose mind is fixed on a definite purpose. Obstacles that would crush the drifter, they become mere puzzles for the man with an A-I-M-S. Oh, I ask you, what is yours? Write it down to the not say you will do it later. Later is the graveyard of dreams. Now, write down. Make it plain. Make it specific. Put a date on it. What do you demand from life? How much money? What position? What will you give in return? For there is no such thing as something for nothing. You must state what you will give, your time, your ideas, your relentless effort, in exchange for what you demand. This written statement is your contract with your own mind. It is the blueprint for your architect, and then you must program it. You must read this statement aloud every morning when you wake and every night before you sleep. You must read it with emotion. You must read it with faith. You must see yourself in your mind's eye as already in possession of it. This is not foolish repetition. This is autosuggestion. This is the process of giving a direct command to the most powerful force you possess, your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind does not argue. It does not judge. It does not care if the goal is realistic. It is a loyal and tireless servant. It accepts the orders you give it, and it works 24 hours a day to manifest those orders in your physical reality. The servant takes orders from the world. His subconscious is programmed by the news, by his boss's criticisms, by his fears. The master gives orders. He writes his own program. He commands his subconscious to find the answers, to attract the opportunities, to build the bridges from his mind to his reality. This is the great secret. You're already using autosuggestion, but you're using it to fail. Every time you say, I can't, I'm not good enough, that's impossible, you are giving a direct order to your subconscious to create that failure. Refuse this. Seize the controls. From this day forward, you speak only the language of your aim. You speak of victory. You speak of certainty. You speak of when, not if. Your definite chief aim is your shield against the distractions of the world. It is your sword to cut through procrastination. It is the command that ends your servitude. When you have a purpose that burns hotter than your fears, you become unstoppable. The man who is possessed by a great aim no longer needs to be motivated. He is motivation. He is a force of nature. And this burning, definite, obsessive purpose is the engine that will drive you from the prison of your old life. All you must do is write the destination and command your subconscious to build it. And this is the forge. This is where the blueprint becomes steel. This is where the vision is hammered into reality, that a mind awakened, a purpose defined. These are meaningless without the final, brutal, and glorious ingredient: action. Belief without action is delusion. A definite chief aim without discipline is a daydream. This is the step where 99% of men fail. This is the valley of bones where dreams go to die. Because this is where the work lives. This is where the refusal is tested. Not once, but every single day. The servant wishes. The master builds. The servant is a creature of mood. He works when he feels like it. He follows his plan when it's convenient. He waits for motivation. The master is a creature of discipline. He knows that motivation is a fickle, fleeting emotion. He does not wait for it. He creates it through action. He is not governed by his feelings. He is governed by his plan, but he obeys the cosmic habit force. This law is as real as gravity. It states that the universe is built on rhythm, on pattern, on habit. Your life, right now, is the sum total of your habits. And this force, like electricity, is impartial. It will work for you or against you. It will build your palace or it will build your prison. Look at the habits of the servant. He wakes to an alarm. His first thought one of dread. He hits snooze. He reacts to the morning. He grabs his phone and consumes the noise of the world, the outrage, the gossip, the distractions. He eats thoughtlessly. He moves without purpose. He trades his day for a wage, comes home exhausted, and numbs his mind with cheap entertainment until he falls asleep, only to repeat the cycle. This is the rhythm of servitude. It is a habit loop that guarantees he will die in the exact same place he started. Now, look at the habits of the master. He commands his morning. He wakes before the world in the sacred quiet. His first thought is not reaction, it is intention. He reads his definite chief aim. He visualizes his victory. He creates before he consumes. He moves his body, not as a chore, but as an act of power. He plans his day, identifying the one or two critical actions that move him toward his aim that he wins the morning. And the man who wins the morning wins the day. This is not about being busy. This is about being effective. The servant is busy. He is always putting out fires. The master is effective. He is building something. You must build the habits of command. You must schedule your refusal. You must put your purpose on your calendar. The refusal to die a servant is not proven in a single grand gesture. It is proven in 1,000 small, unglamorous decisions you make every single day. IT is the decision to read a book on your craft instead of watching television. It is the decision to make the sales call you are afraid of. It is the decision to get up at 5 a.m. when the bed is warm and your mind is weak. It is the decision to think, to sit in a quiet room and plan while the rest of the world is busy reacting. Henry Ford's engineers told him the V8 engine was impossible. They said the laws of physics would not allow it. He did not care. He did not wish for it. He commanded it. Produce it anyway, he told them. They failed. They came back. He sent them back. I want it, and I will have it. That is not motivation. That is persistence. That is relentless, obsessive, stubborn discipline in service of a definite aim. He acted in accordance with his belief, and the universe had no choice but to bend to his will. Your refusal is useless until it becomes a routine. You must become a person of action. Not I'm going to, but I am. Not tomorrow, but today. The gap between the life you have and the life you want is the gap between what you know and what you do. Close the GAP.D. Oh, not tell me you lack time. You have the same 24 hours as Edison, as Carnegie, as every giant who has ever walked this earth. You do not lack time. You lack clarity. You lack discipline. You must protect your no. Say no to the meetings that go nowhere. Say no to the people who drain your energy. Say no to the habits that keep you a servant. Your yes to your definite chief aim is only as powerful as your no to everything that is not it. This is the forge. It is hot. It is painful. It is where you will be hammered and shaped. You will be tempted to quit. Your old self will scream for comfort, and you will look at your written name. You will remember your refusal, and you will pick up the hammer and strike again. This is the only way. The refusal is written not in words, but in work. The refusal is written in your schedule, and the moment you write it, the moment you commit, the moment you take that first terrifying, powerful step, the world will rise up to meet you. It will send a storm. It will not be easy. The moment you declare your refusal, the moment you define your aim, the moment you begin to act, you will be tested. The world does not yield its treasures lightly. It must know if you are serious. The storm will come in many forms. It will come as failure. Your first business will collapse. Your great idea will be met with indifference. Your plan will fall apart on the first day. It will come as criticism. The people closest to you, the ones you thought would support you, will be the first to doubt. They will call you foolish. They will call you selfish. They will say, "Who do you think you are?" They will do this because your courage is a terrifying mirror to their own compromise, and the storm will come from within. It will come as fear, as doubt, as exhaustion. The voice of your old, servant self will whisper in your ear, "It's not working. Give up. Go back. It's safe in the cage." This is the great filter. This is where the strong are separated from the weak. This is where the master is separated from the servant. The servant sees failure and stops. He sees temporary defeat as permanent failure. He takes the criticism to heart. He believes the doubt, and he crawls back to the security of his cage, proving to himself and the world that he was never worthy. The master refuses. He understands a secret that the servant will never know. Failure is not a person. It is an event. Temporary defeat is not the end of your story. It is part of your story. It is not a tombstone. It is a stepping stone. It is the universe giving you feedback. It is saying, "Not that way. Try another." Look at Abraham Lincoln. A man defined by failure. Failed in business. Bankrupt. Lost his sweetheart. Lost 8 separate elections. He was defeated, ridiculed, and written off as a man of no consequence. He had every reason to quit. He had every excuse to accept his fate as a failure. But he refused to let the event of failure define the identity of the man. He saw each defeat not as a judgment, but as education. He learned. He adapted. He persisted. And a man who failed more times than any other, the man who would not stay down. He rose to become one of the greatest leaders in human history. That he refused to die a servant to his circumstances. This is resilience. This is the stickability that Napoleon Hill called the one essential quality of all great men. When you're hit, you get up. When you're beaten, you get up. When you lose your money, when you lose your friends, when you lose your hope, you get up. You get up, you look at your definite chief aim, and you take one more step. This is the refusal in action, and you do not have to do it alone. The servant thinks he must. He operates from a place of scarcity and fear. He sees everyone as competition. The master understands the power of the mastermind. He knows that no great fortune, no great achievement was ever accomplished by a single mind. He surrounds himself with men and women of like mind, of equal ambition, of complementary skill. He creates a harmony of thought. Look at Carnegie. He was not the smartest man in steel. He knew little of the technical process, but he was a master of men. He surrounded himself with minds, with experts, with loyal partners, and he harmonized them toward his definite chief aim. You must do the same. Audit your circle. Are you surrounded by servants? By drifters? By cynics? Then you'll be pulled down to their level. Or are you surrounded by masters? By people who challenge you, who support your aim, who hold you accountable, who speak the language of vision and action. You must be ruthless in protecting your new mind. Your mastermind is your personal cabinet, your board of directors. Choose them wisely, the storm will pass. It always does. And the man who is still standing, the man who endured the failure, who ignored the criticism, who mastered the doubt, and who did it with the support of his mastermind, that man is no longer the same. He has been forged in the fire. His belief is no longer a theory. It is a fact. His discipline is no longer an effort. It is his identity that he is not a servant. He is a master in training. We return to the beginning. The cage. To the polite, comfortable prison of the 40-year plan. But you see it differently now. You see that the walls are an illusion. You see that the lock was always on the inside. You have a key. It is the belief in your own mind. You have the blueprint. It is your definite chief aim. You have the tools. There are the disciplines and habits you forge every day. And you have the armor. It is the resilience to withstand any storm. The difference between the servant and the master is no longer a mystery. The servant waits. He waits for permission. He waits for the right time. He waits for the economy to get better. He waits for someone to rescue him. The master acts. He gives himself permission. He knows the only right time is now. He creates his own economy. He rescues himself. The servant dies with a life full of what-ifs. The master dies empty, having poured every last ounce of his potential, his vision, and his power into his purpose. The choice has always been yours, and it is not a choice you make once. It is a choice you must make today, and tomorrow, and every single day for the rest of your life. When that alarm clock rings, the servant in you will beg for 5 more minutes. And the master in you must rise, plant his feet on the floor, and command the day. When the fear of failure whispers in your ear, the servant in you will look for an escape. And the master in you must look at his written aim and take action. When the world offers you comfort in exchange for your dream, the servant in you will be tempted. And the master in you must say, "My purpose is not for sale." This is your birthright. You are not born to merely survive this life. You are not born to be a cog in another man's machine. You are not born to be useful. You are born to build. You were born to create. You were born to command. You were born to leave a legacy. You were born to be a master. The only thing stopping you is the story you keep telling yourself. The only thing holding you is a set of habits you learned. And anything that was learned can be unlearned. Today is the day you stop being the author of your excuses and start being the author of your destiny. Today is the day you burn the contract of servitude. Today, you refuse to be average, refuse to be realistic, refuse to wait, refuse to drift, refuse to fear, refuse to die a servant.